Look at you, baby doll. We're going to go through what founders and leaders say to manipulate and groom the people and tell them what they want to hear. If you get offended by any of these words, you got to check yourself because you're not going to make it in this game. This is how the whole game works. Not just in crypto, every aspect of life. There's marketing and branding everywhere, but you have to tune into the language of what they do in crypto and financial markets. Okay, so let's go through my post here. I've got some juicy information for you. So I've got here, you're gonna use my free advice to sharpen yourself today. All right. I've been to many crypto communities. I've listened to their maxi talking points. Yes, friends, I've been to all of them. All of them. Okay. Their founders and influencers will have a different marketing tactic depending on the cycle and emotions of the crowd. I have noticed these people who are in charge of these greater, companies, businesses, crypto coins, they have a special gift, okay? Now, I don't know if they're born with it or it just happens because they have the iteration of like thousands of people speaking to them and they kind of learn. But whatever it is, man, these people are gifted. They know how to read a crowd. They know how to read a crowd. And they get better over time. Okay? They make less mistakes over time. They know what to say, what not to say. And it depends on the cycle. So it's not just asset going up and down. It's humans' emotions, right? And this video, we're going to go through specifically price-related stuff, right? That's what we're going to go through today. And there's different parts of the cycle I have noticed, because I've been through every single part. I've listened to all of them. I'm like, wow. They all say the same thing depending on the cycle. And it's exactly what someone who's hodling would want to hear. And I'm telling you this now because it was a great discovery by me. I was like, wow, isn't it an absolute coincidence that it's exactly what I want to hear in every single part of the cycle? And if you keep listening, you make the wrong decision. So this video, we're not going to go through bad stuff, man. There's no bad vibes here. This is what it is. Like you and me, we're just like, a couple of people sitting here. If they're trying to onboard 100,000, million, 10 million people, it's not about me or you. It's about what the crowd wants. The majority of people, okay? We're moving on. So, in a bear cycle, this is what they'll say. They'll say, like, look how cheap under the all-time high we are. We can get there again. Now, they don't all specifically say, and we're going to go through different coins and founders, right? They don't all say, we are at $1 and we used to be $50. They don't all specifically talk about price, okay? They talk about the same concept, we can get back to the high, but they use different metrics. Some speak about price. Some speak about adoption numbers, right? Some speak about, what was going on during that year, right? When we peaked. They all have their own way of doing it. And they all use it to anchor the high. So basically, if you just listen, you're like, oh, okay, what they're basically doing is, hey, we can return to glory. We can return to glory. That's the ultimate, that's the fundamental core message. And they all do it, man. We're going to go through all of them. They all do it. And this is what you need, right? So you got to think, how I think is if I had a coin, I had a community, I had 100,000 people, 1 million people, 10 million people, a country, what would I be saying when things got tough? And you know what you'd be saying? You'd be saying, hey man, remember when it was great? We can get there again. We can get there again. That's what presidents say. That's what everyone says, man. As a leader, you have to talk like that. You have to keep people and people's morales boosted. And the crypto coin founders, they do the same thing. They actually do the same thing. But everyone thinks this time is different. And no. This time it's real. But, it's not different. It's actually the same this time, right? So, in the middle of the bull, right? So, in the middle of, sometimes they call it, spring, whatever it is, right? So, you're moving, you're range bound. We're exiting the depression. We're going to that hope, disbelief, optimism part, right? In that middle part, this is what they say. They basically say, don't sell because if you look at that other asset, it's still much bigger than us. we're still relatively cheap to them, right? So Bitcoin maxis, they speak about gold, right? You've heard that. I'm sure you've heard that thousands of times. Bitcoin is digital gold, digital gold. Why do you think they say that? You think these people who don't have a shitload of bags, thousands of Bitcoin, you think they don't actually spend their time thinking about, okay, how can we market the message to onboard billions of people? How do we do that, right? You know, they don't tell you they do that. You know why? Because you are buying a coin and you generally have to believe, according to them, that this thing is the greatest invention ever and it will naturally onboard everyone and everyone's going to have to come in. I hope this is kind of making sense to you now, right? I hope you're having this epiphany because this is exactly the marketing message you're hearing. You're hearing, well, like, you know, I just buy it and I hold it and I don't need to do anything because it's great itself, you know? But all these people still come out. They throw digital gold. They go to the talking points on MSNBC and the other and all the news channels, right? And they say, oh, you know, gold's 10 trillion and it's just a pet rock. Why do you think they do that, man? If Bitcoin, for example, and every coin does this, if this thing was the greatest thing itself, why is it naturally like snowballing, right? Because everyone does it, okay? And I'm not here to pick on Bitcoin. Every single influencer, the main core group of every coin, every crypto, they do something like this, right? Maybe XRP, Cardano community, same thing. Doge, same thing, okay? Ethereum, same thing. Ethereum, we're gonna flip Bitcoin. We gotta flip Bitcoin. Are you noticing that? The flipping in. We gotta flip Bitcoin. It's such an easy thing to latch on to. It's what the crowd wants to hear. Because in the middle of the bull market, you're climbing the wall of worry. So there's things lurking in the background, but you just think, okay, can we just get that one step next? That one step over, right? You know, if Bitcoin goes back to 1.3 trillion market cap roughly, it's like 60 to 75K. That's silver's market cap. So when we're there, everyone's going to be talking about it. Can we get over silver's market cap? Okay, we got there. All right, now can we get to 100K, 2 trillion? That's what's going to happen. That's not actually what's going to happen. It has happened. You've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, you haven't been paying attention, okay? It's always, let's anchor to the next asset we can climb. Always. Every single time. Doesn't matter what it is, right? Then, the top of the bull. The euphoria part. This is what the leaders and the founders say, right? There's so many, man. I've forgotten so many, but when you hear them, you're like, okay, I know exactly what's going on, right? This is a Bitcoin common one. We have no top because the USD has no bottom. I'm sure you've heard that one before. We've all heard that one before. How many times have we heard that? The debt's too high. Infinite fiat. You know, printing money, it's a tap, right? You know, a tap can go on and then off, right? Yeah, you know, if you live in a house or an apartment, you know, the tap, you have to drink water at some point, right? But you don't have to, open the tap and just get, 50 liters of water like right now. You know, you can drink a bit, turn it off, drink a bit again, So if you're just watching someone, you're like, you're going to use like 100 liters of water drinking. Yeah, but you got to wait a year, for it to get out. They don't have to just leave the tap on forever, But this, you can't tell the crowd this at the top. Okay? We can't tell the crowd this at the top because they don't want to hear it. They'll crucify you. They'll literally crucify you. What about the next talking point? Market cap means nothing. I've heard this, every single community says this. Every single community says this their own way. It means nothing. It's a bad metric. Go to many coins will say that market cap is wrong because the treasury doesn't get unlocks for 4 years. So you're using a wrong number. That's one talking point. Another talking point is, look at Bitcoin, for example. Well, this is what Plan B did, right? In the 2021 cycle. Here, to get his 200,000 Bitcoin target, what he did was he removed Satoshi's Bitcoin, and that wasn't enough. So he removed the 1 million Bitcoin from the circulating supply, and then he removed a lot of the lost coins, which haven't been moved in like so long. He just assumed they were dead. So he removed like 5 or 6 million out of the coins, right? Isn't that fantastic to see if you're holding and you're like, oh my God, I thought Bitcoin was 1 trillion market cap at 50K. But no. Because of all these removals, which is like being super smart, its real market cap is only 600 billion. Oh my God. So we still have at least another 55% to go up. And then higher, and then higher, and then higher. I'm sure you have to have heard this before. I'm telling you now. This is exactly what they say at the tops, right? This is exactly how the crowd gets G'd up. Yeah, remove that coin from supply. Remove that from supply, right? A lot of the Hex and PulseChain community, there's always this Richard Hart talking point. Market cap means nothing. Vanity metric. Look, if you got $1,000 and $5,000, isn't that exactly what you want to hear? There is infinite possibilities. Of course you want to hear that. And I don't blame any influencer, any person for saying this, because it's what the crowd want to hear. And I promise you, if the leaders and the founders don't say it, someone in their community will find the way to say it like that. This number means nothing. Infinite, infinite, infinite. When the crowd is drunk on euphoria, they want every single reason to disconnect from gravity, right? Because your coins are going up. Of course, you've held this whole wave, and now it's finally starting to move. And then everyone and all the good stuff is finally starting to happen, but you've forgotten there's no more fear anymore. So that's actually the top of the cycle. You got nothing to worry about anymore. That is the top of the cycle, right? Look at this one. Future growth is going to be much bigger than before, right? Elon Musk does this so many times. He's selling the top of Tesla, and he says, well, we're going to be bigger than every other car manufacturer and Apple and Google combined. He said that, man. He literally said that. And by the way, he was selling $44 billion. Billion, that's right. $44 billion he was selling as he was saying that at the top. He's like, dude, we're going to be bigger than literally everyone. Friggin' 5 trillion market cap. We're going to 30 trillion size. We're going to literally the size of China, India, America combined. Of course, that's the top. That's talking at the top, man. Of course. All right. Everyone has their own way of like digging in and massaging the crowd. So it depends how you want to view it. Is it manipulation? Is it grooming? Maybe you just have to appreciate it for what it is, like I do. It's intelligent marketing. They know how to these are all powerful, very, very intelligent entrepreneurs, okay? But you got to understand what they're doing at the end of the day. They have, let's say they have 100 people. They know there's only like 10 super duper duper loyal followers. The next 20 are like halfway in, and the bottom 70 are just like, honestly, cockroaches in the sea, literally nothing. And that crowd is what moves everyone, though. You need that much of the crowd to move, then you start getting a trend. You make noise, right? So we're going to finish off this video. I'm just going to show you, right? Bitcoin influencers. They all have these same talking points, right? So at the bottom of the bear, right? Look, we got to 69,000. We can get to 100,000. We can get back to that market cap. They anchor to gold, digital pet rock, right? And then at the tops, what are they going to be saying? Bitcoin has no top because the US dollar has no bottom. Max Kaiser actually says that exact talking point, by the way. Go and listen to him. He says Bitcoin has no top because the US dollar has no bottom, okay? He says that. Ethereum is a strange one because Vitalik has now pulled back from the whole number go up thing. I think it's because they're kind of rich enough. And you might see Ethereum get cursed in this third cycle for it, right? But the Ethereum influencers or the Ethereum maxis, what do they say? We've already won, man. All the layer 2s are coming. This and that and the layer 2s. And you're going to use the layer 2s and everything's going to be great because it's a public good. Well, I'd like to push back on that because the layer 2s of Ethereum were not done public ICO like Ethereum's main dream. They have VCs and insiders too, right? And whenever you have that, you have basically capital competition and it's probably going to go through the same turmoil as everything else eventually, right? Elon Musk and Doge. Here's the Tesla side. This is where, I told you, right? He said, we're going to be bigger than Apple and Google and every car manufacturer combined. He said that literally as he was dumping 44 billion up here, by the way. I hope this is making sense to you. Hey, please, I hope your mind is opening. These people, they know what to say, right? They know what to say. What do you think he's going to be talking about right now? He's going to be saying, well, let's go anchor back. If we can get back to that all-time high, right? We can get back to our all-time high. But they say it in different ways. He's like, oh, we can go back and sell as many cars. We can go back to that growth, right? They say it in different ways. We can return to former glory. That's the underlying message, right? Charles with Cardano talking about always Africa, anchoring to Africa, right? That's always the upside, okay? They know how to speak to people. They do. They really do. And are you listening? That's the thing, right? Sergey, with crypto and DeFi, what's he always talking about, right? If you go listen to the presentations, they go, there's $100 trillion out there. We are going to be the oracle for it, okay? Now, I'm not saying anyone's going to be right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what they do. They get the crowd thinking about, forget our price, don't worry about our price. We're going 100 trillion. We're going to go to the very, very, very top, right? And look at this. 2 trillion is going to flow into DeFi like right next year, in the next few years. 2 trillion, right? By the way, DeFi's only got like 100 billion right now. That's 20x. 20x money flow. 2,000% gains, right? They know what to say. They know how to maneuver. They know how to sell. They know how to sell you on the idea. Richard Hart you always hear him say, market cap's a vanity metric. Market cap means nothing, etc., right? I'm going to make a proper video on market cap to show you how I use it. But look, I'm telling you now, man, use every tool you can, okay? Don't just say, oh, market cap means nothing. Woohoo, market cap means nothing, right? Wouldn't you have wished someone to say to you here, wouldn't you have wished someone said to you, yes, I know market cap means nothing, but, you know, man, we're in the top 10 now. We're starting to get, like, pretty heated. You know, this market cap number, I know it means nothing, but it's pretty big. Wouldn't you have loved someone to say that to you? Because what was everyone else saying up here? I know what everyone else was saying, man. Market cap means nothing. You're an idiot. You've just proven you know nothing. Man, take your $5,000 a hex and just please start aggressively average. I will tell you right now, all your coins, whatever you have, you better start aggressively buying now if you're listening to me, because I promise you, you're gonna hate me at like up here, right? You're gonna hate me at $1.25. You're gonna hate me because I'm gonna be saying, well, you know, do you want to go through what happened last time? Do you? Or do you want to be drunk on euphoria of the green candles with everyone else and believing there is no bottom, there is no top, right? Do you really want to believe in that? Because what if you don't get that? People thought this was going to happen too, but look what happened instead, minus 97%. This is going to happen to Bitcoin guys as well, right? It's going to happen to everyone. The crowd gets drunk on euphoria at the top. The crowd will always seek what it wants to hear, and it wants to hear that good times will continue. And when good times are finally so good that there's no more fear, that's actually the top. Just like, I know these are monthly candles, but just go back on the daily chart. Just like how after 13 straight months of bad news, right? FTX explodes. We're like, oh my God. This was literally the feeling of full depression. This was everyone says, man, it's the complete opposite of the euphoria. At the very, very bottom was everyone saying it can't possibly get good from now at all. This is like the worst thing of my life, right? So I want you to know, man, we have a lot of, this is the thing, friends. I'm sharing this video with you to make you better, right? You're part of my community. You follow me, you listen, right? We are friends. I'm telling you, this is easier for you because you have so much time. Because I sit here, reputation risk. I keep saying, we're not going to zero, we're not going to zero. And every time a red candle comes, you think it's going to zero. I'm like, I don't care, we're not going to zero, right? I even made my call here, right? I made my call here saying, we're going to hit 30K before 10K. So even when we came down here, had friends ask me, man, are you still like confident we're going to hit 30K before 10K? Well, not really super confident, but yeah, man, there's so much bad news, whatever. If it doesn't happen, who cares? But I think so, right? But look how much time we had, friends. This is from June to November. Yeah, like 6 months. I'm sorry, you don't have 6 months up here, okay? This was unique. Like if you go back to 2017, friends, this is why you got to be smart. You got to be sharp with me, right? You got to pump the weights at the gym. You have to flex yourself. You don't have 6 months up here. You have 2 weeks, okay? Literally 14 days. You have 14 days to have the realization, oh my God, I'm being told what I want to hear. I'm being told I should hold, okay? It's very, very important. This is why we get euphoria at the top, okay? And this is why everyone sells the bottom. It's because it just lasts too long, okay? And this is how, and just final message, man. Everyone gets trapped at the top. Why? Because you barely have enough time up there. You're like, what the hell? It was just getting started, man. It was just getting started. That's how you get these vicious moves after, right? And it all comes down to, are you listening to all the founders? None of their points are unique. They've all been said before. And the number one goal is marketing. They all got to believe I have the best asset And you should put your USD into mine. Until next time, friends, I love you.